I didn't push him. I placed my hand on the gentleman's back to let him know I was behind him. I feel like whenever I'm on a date, I'm always like having like the sense of like I'm a man in the situation. I'm like protective.
Kylie, how was the wedding?
Incredible. Of course.
Travis Kelce wants to be the one protecting his wife, and he is discovering that being a Super Bowl champion does not automatically earn him that job because Taylor Swift's security operation has been running like clockwork for years, long before Travis ever entered the picture. And now that he is her husband, he is finding out that love alone does not override a system built to keep the most famous woman on the planet safe. Here is what is happening. Every instinct in Travis wants to step in himself. When they walk through a crowd, he instinctively moves to open a path for her, to guide her through, to be the physical barrier between Taylor and anyone who gets too close. It is the same protective instinct that makes him who he is on the football field and off it. But within seconds of him doing that, security takes over. They decide where Taylor goes, who gets close, and when it is safe to move. Travis has had to learn again and again that he is not the one calling those shots, no matter how badly he wants to be.
Security! No, don't move, guys.
And it is not personal. The team around Taylor has protected her for years, through stalker incidents, through the kind of relentless global attention almost nobody else on Earth experiences, and their approach has never changed because of a wedding ring. Their attitude is simple. They have been protecting Taylor for years, and nothing changes just because she got married. They respect Travis, they respect his instincts, but they are not rewriting years of established procedure for anyone, not even her husband. Their job is to protect Taylor, full stop. And that job does not get handed over just because the man standing next to her now wears a wedding band. Her security operation runs like a military exercise, complete with armored vehicles, armed guards, advanced teams scouting locations before she even arrives, private entrances designed to keep her away from crowds entirely, and constant surveillance that never truly switches off. It is a level of protection most people will never fully understand, built up over years of genuine threats rather than paranoia. For someone built the way Travis is built, that has to be a strange adjustment. He is a man who thrives on being spontaneous, on changing plans at the last minute, on calling up friends and heading out the door without a second thought. Taylor's life does not work that way. Every movement has to be coordinated in advance. Armored vehicles, advanced teams, private entrances, constant surveillance. The whole operation runs like something out of a military playbook. Travis understands exactly why it has to be that way. He has seen enough to know the threats are real, but understanding it and feeling completely at ease with it are two very different things. And by every account, he is still working through the gap between the two. What makes it even more complicated is the instinct itself. Travis genuinely wants to be the one who keeps Taylor safe. That desire to protect her only grew stronger the closer they got to the wedding, and it has not faded now that they are actually married. He wants to be the shield, the first line of defense, the guy who steps between his wife and any kind of danger, but he is slowly coming to terms with something humbling. When it comes to Taylor's safety, the professionals who have done this for years are still the ones in charge, and no amount of love or good intention changes the fact that they are simply better equipped and better trained for the job than he is.
Did you get any pushback from the actual security guards about pushing them out of the way the one night?
Pushing them out of the way?
I mean, it's on camera, Travis.
I didn't push him. I placed my hand on the gentleman's back to let him know I was behind him. I feel like whenever I'm on a date, I'm always like having like the sense of like I'm a man in the situation. I'm like protective.
It takes a certain kind of strength to accept that. To be man enough to admit that protecting someone sometimes means stepping back and trusting the people whose entire job is keeping her alive, rather than trying to do it all yourself. And by every indication, Travis is choosing to trust the process, even when every fiber of him wants to be the one doing the protecting. And the security dynamic is far from the only thing keeping this couple in the headlines this week. Because Kylie Kelce has finally opened up about what the wedding was actually like, and her reaction has fans smiling from ear to ear, while attending a golf tournament in Lake Tahoe with her husband Jason, Kylie described the ceremony in a single glowing word: incredible. She did not go into detail, staying just as tight-lipped as everyone else who was actually in that room, but the warmth in her answer said plenty on its own.
Kylie, how was the wedding?
Incredible, of course.
She also addressed one of the questions fans have been dying to ask: when will the world actually see wedding photos? Her answer was honest and refreshingly unhurried. Eventually, she said, adding that the newlyweds need to bask in it a little bit first, because right now it is honeymoon time.
Yeah, eventually. You gotta bask in it a little bit. Yeah. Guys, it's honeymoon time.
And Kylie had every reason to be glowing about that night, because her own daughters were right in the middle of it. Jason and Kylie's 4 girls, Wyatt, Elliot, Bennett, and Finley, served as the flower girls, scattering petals down the aisle as Taylor made her way toward Travis. For Kylie, watching her own children play such a central, precious role in her brother-in-law's wedding was one of the most special parts of the entire day. It is one thing to attend a wedding this massive as a guest. It is another thing entirely to watch your own 4 little girls become part of the ceremony itself, immortalized in a moment this enormous. Kylie has spoken with real affection about how close-knit this family has become, and having her daughters woven so literally into the fabric of the day only deepened that bond even further. Meanwhile, the reactions from outside the family have been just as loud, even if a little more chaotic. Pat McAfee and his crew could not contain themselves discussing the wedding, treating it with the kind of pure, over-the-top enthusiasm that has made his show must-watch TV for years. There was no deep insider analysis, no dissection of guest lists or vow content, just unfiltered excitement. The sense that 2 people everyone in that circle genuinely likes had finally found their happy ending, and that alone was worth celebrating loudly. It is the kind of reaction that reminds everyone how many genuine friendships surround this couple. People who have known Travis for years and watched this relationship grow from a friendship bracelet story into an actual marriage, and who could not resist sharing their excitement the moment the ceremony became official.
Is Travis Kelce married?
I think so.
Congratulations! I'm sure there was something that I agreed to not talk about it. But from the things that I've been reading about other people talking about it that have like kind of, because there's no phones in there. There's no notes section, no writing of anything. So it's literally all just memory. Anybody that's saying anything negative about that place, now granted, shutting down parts of the city and that whole thing, you guys can have your thoughts on that. The event itself was like the most spectacular, grand thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Not everyone reacting to the wedding, however, was doing so with pure joy, because word has emerged that Kim Kardashian was reportedly left more than a little envious after watching the scale of Taylor and Travis's celebration unfold. Kardashian, who is said to be increasingly serious with Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton, is reportedly already imagining what her own wedding could look like someday, and seeing Taylor and Travis pull off an event of that magnitude apparently got her wheels turning. The old feud between Kardashian and Taylor, one of the most talked about celebrity rifts of the last decade, is said to be firmly in the past at this point, with Kardashian no longer interested in dwelling on old drama. But admiration is a different thing entirely from resentment, and by every account, Kardashian could not help but be impressed, and maybe a little jealous, of just how enormous and star-studded the whole affair turned out to be. With her own circle of famous friends spanning sports, music, and Hollywood insiders suggest she believes she and Hamilton could easily assemble a guest list just as massive if the moment ever comes. It all paints a picture of a wedding that continues to ripple outward, touching everyone from the family members who were actually standing in that room to celebrities who were nowhere near it but still felt its gravitational pull. From Kylie's quiet pride in her daughter's role, to Pat McAfee's unfiltered joy, to Kim Kardashian quietly sizing up her own future plans against it. Taylor and Travis's wedding has become the new benchmark that everyone in their orbit is measuring against. It is rare for one event to touch so many different corners of the public eye at once: sports, music, television, and reality fame all reacting to the same single night in their own distinct way. Put it all together, and here is where things actually stand. Travis is adjusting to the reality that Taylor's security team, not him, remains in charge of her safety even now that they are married. A humbling lesson for a man who wants nothing more than to be her protector himself. Kylie Kelce has broken her silence, calling the wedding incredible and confirming that photos will come eventually, once the newlyweds have had time to enjoy their honeymoon, while also reflecting on how special it was to watch her own 4 daughters serve as flower girls. Pat McAfee and his crew reacted to the wedding with pure giddy excitement, and Kim Kardashian is feeling a mix of admiration and envy after witnessing just how big Taylor and Travis went. Marriage does not erase who you were before it, and it does not automatically hand you control over every part of your partner's life, especially when that partner has spent years building systems to keep herself safe in a world that never stops watching her. Travis is learning that lesson in real time, choosing humility over ego, trust over control. And everyone else, from family members glowing with pride to fellow celebrities quietly taking notes, is still trying to process just how big this moment truly was and what it might mean for their own lives going forward.
It was unbelievable. We were very excited to get the invite and very privileged to be there. They did everything top notch, and it was beautiful to see. And when Adam Sandler walked out, that kind of had everybody floored. That was really cool. The ceremony was beautiful. Obviously very happy for them. And there was a lot of dancing, hours and hours and hours. Still kind of recovering from, being out on that dance floor for 6+ hours.
That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.